You have been deceived. They told you to work hard, save a little, retire at 65 and call that freedom. But if 4 decades of labor end in a pension too small to survive on, what name do you give it? You were not born to work until death. You were not born to watch life pass by while trading your soul for a paycheck. The world does not reward obedience. It rewards the man who sees the trap and escapes it. And that man begins here. My name is John Garcia, and you're watching the Napoleon Hill channel. If this message has already struck a chord within you, subscribe right now, because every day I bring powerful insights to help you break free, build wealth, and take command of your destiny. And tell me in the comments below, from which city are you watching this? I want to know your reality. You have been deceived. They told you to work hard, save a little, retire at 65, and call that freedom. But if 4 decades of labor end in a pension too small to survive on, what name do you give it? You were not born to work until death. You were not born to sit and watch life pass you by while trading your soul for a paycheck. The world does not reward obedience. It rewards the man who recognizes the trap and escapes it. And that man begins here. Listen closely, because if you miss this message, you may labor to the grave and still die poor. You think you are free. You think hard work will bring reward. You believe that after 40 years of loyalty, saving, and following the system, your prize will come. But I tell you plainly, if 4 decades of labor end in dependence, then who really owned your life? I have seen it countless times. Men who gave their youth to a company, only to arrive at 65 with weary bones, trembling hands, and fear in their eyes because the money is running out. They obeyed every rule. They stayed quiet. They worked. They waited. And when the waiting was over, nothing was there for them. So I ask again, who owns the life of a man who sells it paycheck by paycheck, only to die uncertain, unfree, and forgotten? You must understand this truth. Slavery has changed its disguise, but it has not disappeared. The chains are no longer iron. They are built of routine, of debt, of limited expectations, of unchallenged beliefs. They told you the system works if you follow it. What they never told you is that the system was never built to make you rich. It was built to make you useful for someone else's wealth. I will not soften my words. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to wake you until you see your condition. Clearly, you will never break free. You will waste your years and call it responsibility. You will praise your captors and call it employment. You will wait for retirement, which barely pays your rent, and call it security. But this is not tragedy. It is choice. And choice means it can be reversed if you dare to face it. In this speech, I will show you the laws that the wealthy embraced while others slept. I will show you how Carnegie, Rockefeller, Schwab, Ford, and Lincoln rose from nothing, not by luck, not by favor, but by truth and law. You will learn why work alone never sets a man free, why retirement is the reward of the obedient, not the free, how schools train employees, not owners, why jobs are not strategies, but placeholders, why the rich obey spiritual laws the poor ignore, how habits form prisons, why waiting is death and movement is salvation, and why the man who refuses to serve ultimately becomes the man who commands. You will ask yourself, what is my life truly producing? Have I mistaken obedience for purpose? Why have I delayed wealth? What must I abandon now? What must I repeat daily until freedom is real? If you are honest, you will see that you are not free, not yet. But if you remain with me, if you listen to every word, if you apply with precision, you will no longer work until death. You will build a life that serves you. The chains lie in your habits, the key is in your mind. This is your last warning before time makes the choice for you. Say it now. I refuse to work my life away and die poor. I was born to own, not to obey. Fool 1. Work alone will never set you free. You were taught to worship labor. You were told that effort is the answer, that if you arrive early, stay late, serve well, and keep your head low, one day you will rise. But the truth is this: work alone will never make you free. You can sell your strength to another man's dream for 40 years and still die nameless. You can give your best decades to a factory, an office, a company, and still retire into scarcity, staring at the calendar and your checkbook with equal dread. I'm not against work. I'm against blind loyalty. The man who labors without thought is no more than a machine. The man who labors without purpose is no freer than a mule. And the man who labors without ownership remains a servant regardless of his salary. Understand the difference between labor and wealth. Labor is effort of the body. Wealth is command of the mind. Most men sell their hours for another's vision because they never learned this law. Money obeys thought, not time. A man may toil his whole life and still be surpassed by the thinker who dared to build a system. One man digs a hole, another sells the shovel. Which one grows rich? The poor man points to effort. I worked hard, I showed up. But the prize never goes to the one who shows up. It goes to the one who builds. Leverage, the man who creates something that works without him. Andrew Carnegie swung no hammers, he built an empire. He created systems of men and machines that multiplied while he slept. He organized minds and vision. And from that moment forward, his ideas earned more than his labor ever could. That is the secret the worker never learns. The mind is the only true factory of fortune. Yet from childhood you were trained differently. You were told your worth equals your hours. But time is the poor man's currency, the one thing you can never earn back. Each time you trade it for another's dream, you are selling your only true possession. Men were trained to work, not to think, to obey, not to build, and they wonder why they labor for a lifetime with nothing to show. It is not injustice, it is programming, and it must be broken. You cannot believe more effort will equal more freedom. It will not. Freedom comes from ownership, ownership of thought, ownership of systems, ownership of purpose. Without it, you will trade your life for crumbs. A man who never escapes hourly. Labor dies a servant. Whether he wears a suit or swings a hammer, if he trades his hours for pay without a greater plan, he is still a slave, just more expensive. But there is a way out, a new law to obey, a new identity to form. Say it now. I do not sell my life for crumbs. My work builds ownership, not dependence. This is the start of your liberation. But if you stop here, you will fall back. So let us continue at part 2. The retirement lie, a slave's reward. You were told to wait. Work now, enjoy later. Save a little, sacrifice today for tomorrow. But when tomorrow comes, you are tired, you are broke, and freedom never arrives. Retirement is the lie given to slaves to keep them quiet. The truth, you are not saving for freedom, you are saving to delay collapse. The structure was built to keep you obedient until you were too weak to resist. They gave you just enough to keep you working, just enough hope to keep you waiting, just enough fear to keep you chained. The man who waits until 65 to live never lived at all. Retirement is not a reward, it is a leash. They call it a pension. I call it permission to survive. True wealth is not saved, it is created. It is the fruit of thought, decision, and courage to step off the assembly line. Henry Ford did not save his way into millions. He built systems that multiplied without him. He created while others waited. That is the difference. The builder lives now, the waiter dies hoping. They taught you delayed gratification, but the truth is delayed vision is death. If your prize comes only when you are too old to enjoy it, you were deceived. And most men never even reach retirement. They die before they escape. Those who do arrive weak, broke, and spiritless. It doesn't have to be so, but only if you break the lie today. Say it. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. Part 3. Schools. Train workers, not creators. From your first day you were conditioned, not liberated. You were taught to sit, be quiet, memorize, obey, ask permission, follow rules, wait your turn. And what of the wealthy? None of them lived by these lessons. Carnegie, Edison, Ford, they broke the line. They thought, they questioned, they believed. Edison was cast out of school, called unteachable. He went on to light the world, not because of the classroom, but because of vision, belief, persistence. And the irony is that the same schools that rejected him now praise his name, while punishing his spirit. Schools do not teach wealth. They teach order, dependency, and comfort. They teach you to recite a script, not write your own. If you want wealth, you must unlearn what made you poor. Ask yourself, why was I taught to fear mistakes more than mediocrity? Why was I never taught income? Why was definite purpose never spoken of? Why were the laws of faith, desire, planning, autosuggestion, wealth left out of every curriculum? Because obedient workers do not need wealth. They need just enough to survive. Education should liberate, but when it only trains the hand, it becomes a prison. To rise, you must retrain your mind. You must think, speak, and question like the man you wish to become, not the one they trained you to be. Part 4. A job is a placeholder, not a plan. Let us be brutally honest. A job is not freedom, not wealth, not security. It is only a cage with polite walls. It solves the immediate need, but cannot fulfill the ultimate calling. Without a definite aim, a job becomes a coffin, a slow decay of potential disguised as duty. I do not say abandon your job. I say use it as a tool. Let it fund your freedom. Let it open doors, as it did for Edwin C. Barnes, who started as a clerk but burned with one vision: to partner with Edison. He used the job to enter the room, then left it behind forever. That is wealth, not repetition but purpose. The tragedy of modern man is not that he works hard. It is that he works hard without aim. A job is noble only when it builds your freedom. If you are still working just to live, still waiting for raises, still building another's dream while yours sleeps, you are not free. But you can be. Say it. My job is not my identity. It is my tool. I use my job to build freedom. Part 5. The laws of the rich are spiritual. The poor chase money. The rich align with law. Wealth begins in the mind. You cannot earn until you believe you deserve. You cannot command until you obey the laws of the universe. Rockefeller tithed not from superstition, but principle. Carnegie surrounded himself with greater minds, not from weakness, but from law. Edison envisioned light long before it existed. They obeyed invisible law. Faith applied to a definite aim. Faith is not religion, it is power. To hold your vision until the world must obey. Autosuggestion is not foolishness, it is programming. What you tell yourself with emotion becomes instruction. Poverty or victory, your tongue decides. Wealth does not serve the aimless, it serves the precise. Write your aim, plan your steps. Repeat daily, attack again. These are not opinions, they are eternal laws. Break them and life breaks you. Obey them and life yields. Riches are not reward for effort, they are reward for obedience to law. Part 6. Habits form slavery. Chains are no longer metal, they are routine. Modern slaves are not owned by masters, they are owned by cycles. Rise, eat, work, rest, repeat, and call it life. But is it your life or one designed for you? Habits are destiny. The poor drift, the rich command rhythm. Carnegie rose early. Schwab planned every hour. Edison tested endlessly with structure. Wealthy habits are not random. They are rhythmic, deliberate, aimed. Audit your habits. Do you eat thoughtlessly, speak vaguely, move aimlessly? Or do you structure your day, review progress, repeat your aim? Your habits build either chains or freedom. Part 7. Waiting makes you a servant. He who waits works for he who does not. Wealth never rewards hesitation. The rulers are those who moved when others paused. Lincoln acted when the nation fractured. Carnegie built when others feared. Ford mass-produced while others mocked. Edison declared his inventions before they worked. Movement precedes manifestation. Waiting is not neutral, it is decay. Every day you delay, another man builds. And when your energy is gone, you will serve him, not because he was better, but because he moved. Your delays will become your chains. Say it. I act while others wait. My speed creates my freedom. Part 8. The man who refuses to serve becomes the one who commands. This is the final law, identity. Until you transform who you are, no habit, no income, no environment will change you. The world does not obey performers. It obeys commanders. And no man commands until he refuses to serve fear, routine, and wage. A man who never writes his own aim, who waits for orders, who drowns in tasks, He is not free. He is not fulfilled. He is not remembered. The line between servant and master is self-command. The man who commands himself commands the world. You were not born to merely work, you were born to build. Not to be instructed, but to direct. Not to comply, but to create. The gate is here. You must cross it or live forever beneath it. Write your aim. Build command. Shape your subconscious with repetition. Build income streams. Use your labor to fund freedom, then step into ownership. Refuse fear. Refuse obedience. Refuse crumbs. Say it. I will not be a slave. I was born to command. And now live. Speak. Build. Not as the man the world tried to make of you, but as the man you were always meant to be. This is your beginning. This is your freedom. This is your new law. Here's today's challenge for you. Stop and reflect on your daily rhythm. Write in the comments. Are your habits building freedom or are they building chains? Remember, slavery no longer wears metal shackles. It hides in routine, in debt, in blind obedience. The first step to breaking it is awareness. The truth is, simple yet brutal. Work alone will never make you free. Time is the poor man's currency, and each day you trade it for someone else's dream, you're selling the only thing that's truly yours. Freedom comes not from labor, but from ownership, of thought, of systems, of purpose. Until you master your habits and command yourself, you will always serve. But the moment you decide, the world begins to obey. So affirm this with me, right? Now, I refuse to sell my life for crumbs. My work builds ownership, not dependence. I was born to command, not to obey. If you felt this message, subscribe to the channel and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it today. And don't miss tomorrow's video where we'll dive into part 2, The Retirement Lie, A Slave's Reward.